What happens when the world goes crazy? There are a few choices. We can go crazy too. We can block out the craziness and pretend it's not happening. Or we can witness everything that goes on around us while maintaining our clear inner guidance. We are present in a time when so many things we've taken for granted are either breaking down or at the very least being reinvented. What happens when basic things like democratic elections are brazenly manipulated? Weather patterns become distorted. Money systems change forms radically. Transportation reinvents itself. Tourism takes over entire cities. Whole religions collapse. And people we considered noble turn out to be ignoble. How are we supposed to work when the tools we have trusted and been familiar with no longer fit in our lives? We are called on more than ever before to make decisions about aspects of our lives that never concerned us before. And we have to remember that we are equipped to do this if we remember to do so. And the magic of this is contained in our human design. In this next series of talks, I'm going to go through each of the centers in the Human Design Life Chart and describe their significance, how they operate, and how they affect us in our lives. If you have a copy of your Human Design chart, it will be worthwhile having it handy. Otherwise, if you know it by heart, if you remember the centers that are colored in or not in your chart, that will do. You can get a copy of the free report, your free report, that contains your Human Design chart from our website, humandesignforusall.com, humandesignforusall.com. And if you like, you can also access a copy of your chart with our free app. Go to thehumandesignapp.com and select either the Android or the iOS Apple version for your phone or tablet. Each of the 9 centers in the Human Design Life Chart, sometimes called a body graph, has 3 possible ways in which it works. If the center is colored in, it is termed defined. And that means it is running consistently 24 hours a day throughout your lifetime. If the center is colored white and has 1 or more gates going halfway across the channel towards another center, then it is termed undefined. An undefined center turns on when you're in the company of someone with a life chart that has that center defined, or who makes a connection through a gate in another center to complete a channel with a gate in your center. This is what we call an electromagnetic connection. A third possibility is where a center in your life chart is white without any gates activated in it. And this is called an open center. This kind of center turns on when in the company of someone who has that center defined in their life chart. Defined centers are fixed. They are fixed to operate exclusively according to the channel or channels that define them and are connecting into them. Undefined and open centers have the potential to be flexible, in that they turn on and off in multiple ways according to the different connection made with the people in your life. Over time, these undefined and open centers can gather and exhibit great wisdom in all the different ways in which those centers operate. This wisdom can become a source of great intelligence that is reflected back into the lives of those people who have these centers defined and colored in their life charts. Unfortunately, the undefined and white centers can also become sources of intense conditioning, when instead of reflecting gathered wisdom, they become fixed, operating according to someone else's design. They can tend to absorb other people's ways of being in those centers. And this happens quite easily because we might unwittingly consider other people's influences more important, more relevant than our own wisdom in those areas of our lives. Everyone is subject to conditioning. The question is, can we in the first place recognize its presence in our lives And can we move away from it because we remember to embrace our own perfect nature, our own human design as the essential guide for our lifetime? So today I'm going to look at the crown center, our center of inspiration that sits at the top of the life chart. This center is unique in that it only connects to one other center, the mind center, the triangle center beneath it, and is shown to be partially in the body and partially out of the body. A defined, colored-in crown center is constantly processing inspiration. You either have an abstract way of making sense out of life through the channel of 6447, or you seek to make logical understanding through the 63 to the 4, up in the top right-hand corner, or you process random insights that are neither based in making sense or being logical through the channel in the middle, the 2461. Or your crown center may have a combination of some of these different processes when more than one channel is defined and colored between the crown and mind center beneath it in the chart. Anyone with a defined crown center will recognize and find out they are constantly thinking, constantly processing and qualifying their environment and the thoughts that come to them. With an undefined crown center that has at least one gate activated in it, you will find yourself able to offer wisdom in the form of potentials or considerations that others have not realized for themselves. For example, you might listen to someone's plans and then tell them of certain features in their plans that they have not considered for themselves. You'll often find yourself pointing out things that people have completely overlooked. Of course, the great thing to realize is, are they looking for your input? And to know that, you have to trust your own type and authority to know when to interject what it is you've seen that someone else is missing in their life. If the center is completely open, meaning there are no gates colored in, and there's only 3 there anyhow, the 64, the 61, and the 63, but if none of these gates are colored in at all, then that center is wide open. Open to be inspired by anything. A little bird singing, a car, a beautiful scenery, a painting, someone's outfit. All kinds of things can inspire you. And you'll find your inclination is to be in inspiring company, if you can. The great thing is to realize, is this a great inspiration? Is this something that really moves me? Or is it just a bright, shiny object? But again, you have that possibility of reflecting tremendous wisdom into other people's lives to point out to them things that really might shape their reality in a different way. The great thing with an undefined or an open center is to just see that it's a place where you can accrue wisdom, wisdom that can be offered into other people's lives on demand. And if you find yourself constantly seeking and searching and trying to work out what this universe is all about using your mind, well, good luck with that. If you ever do find out, please tell the rest of us. We'd love to know. And just to see, this crown center, it's a pressure. It's a pressure to want to find out, but it's just a pressure. We have to trust our own type and authority to know whether this pressure is really something that's substantial and consequential in our lives. If it's not, it's just an inspiration. It's just something of interest. Okay? So no good, no bad. It's not a great thing to have a crown center defined or undefined or open. Just to recognize, how does this work for you? What is it that really inspires you in this lifetime? What is it that really motivates you? And that is something that's going to come from another part of your chart. And we'll talk about these other centers as we go on through this series. Okay, so we leave it there for today. Make sure you get a copy of your free report and download the app to your iPhone or your Android phone or tablet. See you next time.